My name is Lieutenant Colonel Lee Roger Wolfram, and I am a storyteller. Welcome to the bunker. Welcome back to part 2 of a video that I started earlier, and then I had to go to court, so I came back and I'm finishing it up. So let me just, you can either watch the video here, which there should be something I put up there, right? But otherwise, here's a quick thing. So this is a video about a woman who claims to be and she's one of these auditor people, which that's a different kind of thing altogether. But anyway, she claims to be a journalist, and there's a public meeting where the city supervisor and her apparently have some history here. The cops get called. The cops start making up things as far as I'm concerned, and I believe the police could do a much better job. The good cops in all of them could come out and could have helped diffuse this situation. Instead, what happens is this woman goes to jail. And I think that is just part of the whole public image the police can fix with good leadership and really trying to, I guess, get the best end result for everybody involved whenever that is possible. And I don't believe this had to end up in this woman's arrest. With that said, this is where I left off. Watch.
Advisor be present.
Preacher, are you able to come down here?
Yeah.
Thank you.
What am I being charged with?
You are not being charged with anything. You are being investigated. You're refusing to provide identification.
Deputy Gregory claims that Ms. Allen Gregory is required to provide her ID because she was being investigated for obstruction, and that if she refuses, she could face an additional obstruction charge. According to Section 195.05 of the New York Penal Law, quote, "A person is guilty of obstructing governmental administration when he intentionally obstructs, impairs, or perverts the administration of law or other governmental function, or prevents or attempts to prevent a public servant from performing an official function by means of intimidation, physical force, or interference, or by means of any independently unlawful act." Now,
wait a minute. Did that happen? I don't think that happened at all. I think she asked whether or not there was going to be minutes because that was part of the procedure and was just holding them, asking them that question. And maybe she didn't raise her hand or something. So is this going to jail for not raising your hand?
while calmly and briefly speaking out of turn during a public meeting likely would not rise to the level of obstructing governmental administration, if a court determined that Ms. Allen Gregory had been lawfully ordered to leave the meeting and refused to do so, it could potentially also conclude that her refusal to leave constituted a so-called independently unlawful act that intentionally obstructed the administration of the meeting. Section 240.20 of the New York Penal Law states that, quote, "A person is guilty of disorderly conduct when, with intent to cause public inconvenience, annoyance, or alarm, or recklessly creating a risk thereof without lawful authority, he disturbs any lawful assembly or meeting of persons." Okay.
Is that what happened? No, I think she was just asking if they were going to keep minutes. Didn't raise her hand again.
The nature of Ms. Allen Gregory's so-called interruption, it seems unlikely that a court would conclude that she committed disorderly conduct, as the statute requires that an individual act with intent to cause public inconvenience, annoyance, or alarm.
What was her real intent? Her real intent was to see if they were going to follow their own little rules.
Ms. Allen Gregory's intent appeared to be nothing more than to obtain an answer to her question and remain in the meeting that she was lawfully entitled to attend. Additionally, Section 140.05 of the New York Penal Law, the state trespass statute, criminalizes remaining unlawfully in a building that is open to the public in defiance of a lawful order not to remain. Now, we will discuss the lawfulness of the order to leave later in this episode, but for now, it is important to note that if the order was determined to be unlawful, Ms. Allen Gregory could not be convicted of trespassing. Likewise, it is highly unlikely that an additional obstructing charge would be warranted for her refusal to provide her identification to Deputy Gregory. Although Section 140.50 of the New York Criminal Procedure Law authorizes police officers to detain individuals based on reasonable suspicion of criminal activity and demand of their name, address, and an explanation of their conduct, it does not grant officers the power to require physical identification or to arrest citizens who refuse to identify themselves. Likewise, New York courts have consistently held that an individual's refusal to identify themselves does not rise to the level of obstruction, even if an officer has the reasonable suspicion necessary to detain them. For instance, the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of New York concluded in the 2006 case of Williams versus the City of Mount Vernon that, quote, ignoring an officer's request for identification is not a crime, and that, now quoting again, the failure to stop or cooperate by identifying oneself or answering questions cannot be the predicate for an arrest, absent other circumstances constituting probable cause. Accordingly, given the requirement of physical force or interference or an independently unlawful act to sustain an obstruction conviction, it is highly improbable that a court would conclude that Ms. Allen Gregory committed obstruction by refusing to give her ID to Deputy Gregory.
Highly unlikely, because we don't even know what she did yet except for not raise her hand.
I'm sorry, did you not just say?
Can I see what he's trying to charge me for?
So what's going on is a long, drawn-out interruption that's gone on over about 2.5 years, okay?
For requesting public documents, which is for an open meeting law.
Every meeting, but if you speak out during a public meeting, you get a warning, and if you speak out again, we can ask you to remove yourself. And that's what we did tonight. We're very polite. There's no physical, nothing.
Okay, you can ask them, and if you then call the police, and there's years of history apparently here, does that person stay then so that they can talk to the police? I would argue absolutely, and you asking them to leave isn't a law. You can ask them to leave. Now, can I get him arrested? She didn't raise her hand. She's reporting badly about how I do government.
Herb didn't grab onto her or nothing like that.
He did. He did put his arm on me. He most certainly did.
I put my hand on.
He did put his hand on me.
I've talked to Don about this a while back.
Okay, so he did. I mean, I was wrong. Okay, but anyway, let's talk about Don again, my buddy at, wherever.
One night when she pushed her way into my office
I have
and
it recorded.
yelled out.
I recorded it.
It's all recorded.
Okay, so that was before. What does that have to, why aren't the cops shutting this down? Like, we're trying to help resolve this thing. So what happened before? So they're just giving him a public forum while she's basically being threatened for him to get off all of his grievances right now. And then, the police are making that. So, yeah, she's going to have to listen to this. It has nothing to do with what's going on now.
Yelled out that she was a member of the press when Randy Pellis.
I am a member of the press.
Conversation with me.
I am a member of the press.
So,
Does she
anyway,
It's not irrelevant. That's
Not
open
to me.
government and freedom
It's
of
not to
information
me, because
law.
right now you're committing a violation with me.
Oh, I just made up a law that you have to give me your ID, and so now you've crossed me. So we're going to escalate this thing because I have no way of backing down at this point, when we could have just taken a completely different approach, said, hey, can we come over here and have a talk about this? So what's going on here? So, here's some ideas. Why don't we make sure that you get home safely? Like, do some community service, not just get on this guy's side, the supervisor's side, and then just start making up laws as you go in an effort to completely escalate the situation until this woman is forced to face arrest. And this is bad cop shit.
Can I see what he's trying to
No, I'm
charge
asking
me?
you
This
for
is-
your identification.
this is
I don't
Now-
have to provide it unless I'm being
Investigate
reasonably.
it. Say it with me. Investigate
No,
it.
it's not just investigate.
How condescending. Investigate it. You know what? I wish it was as easy to charge the police with a constitutional violation in civil court like they give you a ticket. Like, you know what? You violated my rights. I mean, there's got to be some check here to this, just because you lose in the end if your only choice is go to jail or do what they say.
It is. It's
No, ma'am, it's
investigation.
not.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
100% it
We'll
is.
debate that in court then.
That's fine, but you're still going to have to provide your documentation because you're going to be arrested for it.
Okay.
So
For
that's.
what am I being?
I'm not going to keep saying.
I'm not going to keep saying that. I'm coercing you right now. I'm not going to look up any law. I'm not going to listen to any point of view that you might have. I'm in the process of increasing the risk to you to continue to defy me.
Can I
Over and over
please see the statute that he's trying to quote to me? The document that he's handing me. That he's quoting to me, can I please see that?
That's going to be separate from what I'm charging you with.
Yeah, that's separate because anyway, I said you had to do this now. Now, give me an ID. So it doesn't matter what the thing is you supposedly did wrong anymore.
Please see what he is.
Did you see him going in there trying to get it? But I'm telling you, now you're going to have 2 different charges for it.
Oh,
You can charge me.
let's make, I would make it 3 or 4 or 5 if you want to keep doing this, because I just make them up as I go.
Whatever you think you should.
Okay?
Okay.
All set.
So these are local policies. These are local rules of decorum, which are not a statute.
No.
These are not a legal statute.
I
These
don't
are-
think he said that this was a statute. These are just other documents he had in his hand.
What
He's
is the
explaining.
What is
Oh, they're just other documents. I haven't even read them. I don't even know what they say. I don't honestly even care.
a legal statute? This is a local policy.
I don't care about statutes. Watch. I'll make you look up one yourself here, because I don't need to look them up. I'm making them up.
You're looking for the statute of obstructing governmental administration.
Whatever yes.
Yeah.
Whatever he's accusing me of, I would like to see that statute.
The authority falls within the town board. We have the authority to make local laws.
Yeah, I'm not-
We made one earlier.
We could make a local corrupt law right now. Let me go get the other guys. We're going to sit down on the desk and we're going to pass some laws.
It's not a local law.
That's
It's a
it.
policy.
I'm not
Violated
questioning
it.
that.
We're asking you to do it.
I'm not questioning it, to be
This
honest
is a
with you.
policy.
So, listen, you
Not
said
a
you know
law.
your rights. So, I mean,
This is a policy.
that has nothing to do with what I'm going to be arresting you
I'm
for.
asking for the statute of
Well, actually, nothing has anything to do with why you're arresting her. In fact, the whole point of wasting all of these public resources with all the cops and all the king's horses and all the king's men, when we could have handled this way, made this woman feel like we were public servants, let everybody go home not with a bad attitude, and not have to violate anybody's rights by making up laws. Wouldn't that much? I would think that would be like a better happy ending to the night.
what? You're
I don't
saying
have
it's
the
obstruction
statute.
of justice,
You know
correct?
what? You got your phone?
Can I ask, can you,
I'm going to have you look it up. Because I don't have it on me.
what statute
I don't know the law. You heard me. I'm making it up, but you can look it up.
am I being arrested
Obstructing
for? Obstructing
Governmental administration.
Can I see that statute?
Yes. Do you want to pull up your phone?
I would rather not. I think that
Well,
you're
there you go.
supposed to provide that.
No, I don't.
Isn't that kind of your job when you're threatening to imprison me for not following a statute, and you don't need to look it up? Okay.
I have a law book in my back pocket.
Ms. Allen Gregory argues that Deputy Gregory is required to show her the obstructing statute and that she should not have to look it up herself. As we have discussed before here on ATA, there is no constitutional requirement that officers even inform citizens why they are being detained or arrested, let alone provide them with copies of the relevant statutes. In fact, arrests can be considered constitutional even if an officer arrests an individual for a violation of one statute without probable cause, as long as there is objective probable cause to support a different charge. As
That does not mean you can just make things up.
the Supreme Court explained in the 2004 case of Devenpeck versus Alford, quote, "Our cases make clear that an arresting officer's state of mind, except for the fact that he knows, is irrelevant to the existence of probable cause. That is to say, his subjective reason for making the arrest need not be the criminal offense as to which the known facts provide probable cause. The Fourth Amendment's concern with reasonableness allows certain actions to be taken in certain circumstances, whatever the subjective intent. Accordingly, it is highly unlikely that a court would conclude that Deputy Gregory was required to even articulate to Ms. Allen Gregory the crime that she was suspected of committing, let alone show her the statutory language."
And, you know, she is a little confrontational, but you can see the cops could be the good guys here and sort of help this confrontation de-escalate somewhat.
You have a phone?
I do, but I don't use it for work use. okay? Because then it gets subpoenaed, and I don't want that.
I don't
But
want
it's-
to. I don't want to get subpoenaed looking at the law. I don't want to. I don't want to do that because I might discover that I'm wrong. Wouldn't it be better to subpoena and you were looking up the law? You're like, sure, ma'am, yeah, let's look at it together. Well, I'll be darned. You know what? And you didn't even have to have this discussion in front of everybody. You could have had a discussion off in private. Not when you're being a bully, though.
Free information that everyone has on the internet,
Okay.
okay? Otherwise, you
Super.
know, you'll have to wait until we process the arrest.
Okay. Such a
You're going to have to wait until I arrest you before I even look at the law, I think is what you just said.
waste of money.
It's kind of a waste of time. All you have to do is
It is.
give us your ID.
I don't have to give you that because I have not reasonably committed a crime. There is no reasonable suspicion that I have committed a crime.
We
You
ask
are
for people's
correct.
identification, just simply if they need to be checked on, simply if we are just
And
encountering
I
them.
don't wish to.
What? If we just encounter somebody now, this is a new one. This is a good one. You probably can violate anybody's rights with that one. I love that one.
Waive my Fourth Amendment right for that.
Okay.
Prisoner no regret this. I'm just saying.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Are they involved with that as well?
Nothing more than just refusing to leave after our meeting was over. Normally we,
Nothing more than the same exact thing, except for they didn't speak out without raising their hand. So we'll decide whether they get arrested because they didn't speak out without raising their hand. But otherwise, yeah, they're still here and the meeting's closed, if that's what you're asking.
and people out the door, I guess she's still here. I don't know. No, you're
Witnessing.
being-
Yeah,
No, they're
I'm
here with me.
I'm staying until she's safe.
So I guess they're,
Staying with her until the police come. Because the police, they knew the police were coming. What are they supposed to do? Run away? Like they're guilty or something? And then the police are like, oh, okay, well, you talked to Don, everything's okay. Good. Glad you ran him off.
trespassing.
No. And you want to charge
No,
everybody
that's
here with
trespassing.
trespassing?
That's going to be trespassing if you don't leave. Yeah, for sure.
So I guess.
If these two don't leave, it will be trespassing.
Here's a new one. We just threw in there. Now we got trespassing. We're going to throw that one in now. Another one. I don't even think I have to make up the law on this one. I think we can just start making up the fact that you're trespassing.
Our meeting's over. It was over at 7:20.
And I'm being detained for what? And you're expecting them to leave me? No, it's not going to happen. And you're going to arrest them both for trespassing?
Yeah, they'll have-
Especially when she has a right. The way this guy is coming after her, he's just like coming on so strong. So does she maybe have a concern for safety? Again, I'm not saying this, but let's suppose it is the worst case scenario. Maybe this guy is a corrupt guy. Maybe this woman is afraid. I don't know, but the cops know everything. And what they don't know, they're just going to fill in the blanks and make it up as they go.
Trespass
with
as
me?
well. Yeah, they will.
Okay, well, you can write me a citation and then I'll show up wherever I need to show up.
Yeah, tell the judge.
You will.
But we'll step outside and we're all leaving together.
You're going to be coming back with us.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm not.
Oh, you've challenged my authority.
How do you figure? So you have identification then?
I do.
Okay, can we have that, please?
Nope.
Everyone's going to do the same thing then.
I'm not going to be
yeah.
invested. I'm what am I?
Everybody's going to ask what the crime is. Yeah, we're all going to do that.
I'm being investigated for.
Trespassing.
This is a public building.
Doesn't matter. He
We're
has the
closed.
authority to.
Doesn't matter. He has the authority.
Well, we're
Ask
going to
me
be
to
You
outside.
threatening to arrest the three of us now, so you need to call some other attorneys. This is getting bad. It's been... Okay. All right, well, as long as everybody's aware, I'll let you guys know when I get booked. Okay, we'll sue them. All right, bye. All right. Arrest me then.
No, you want to speak to a supervisor, so we're going to have him come
We'll
over.
wait. We'll wait.
You stand here. Do you have like any documentation for like the past couple of meetings, or like anything that notes about?
You got anything else we could dig up while we're here making stuff up? I mean, give me something. So I mean, I'm kind of in a spot here where I'm just making stuff up. What do you got?
Any
Yeah,
of
we
these
got-
instances
there's
or
our town
trespass
clerk right
orders or
there.
anything like
Yeah,
that? Do you have a trespass order you can issue?
Oh,
A
No.
trespass order?
a trespass order?
No, this has never gone to a judge or anything. No, nothing like that.
Or anything for them?
I know it's not addressed in this rules of decorum.
Yeah, the rules of
Maybe a
decorum.
question for your supervisor.
And if the rules of decorum would have said, if you raise your hand, you don't go to jail, then that would have been the rule of decorum. And as she raised her hand, we wouldn't be here, officer. But get the supervisor over here. I'm going to see if I can find some other times where she didn't raise her hand, too. This will teach you to go to a town meeting here and not raise your hand. And don't you ever forget it.
Both asleep and I can't feel them. Can you not grab by the handcuffs and grab me by the arm, please? Thank you.
Michelle, do you want?
After her arrest, Ms. Allen Gregory spent the night in county jail because Mr. Barney requested an order of protection against her. She was arraigned the next day, and the judge denied the request for an order of protection and released her. One of Ms. Allen Gregory's friends, Holly Bale, was issued a citation for trespassing, but she was not physically taken into custody. Ms. Allen Gregory was initially charged with criminal trespass and obstructing governmental administration, and in April of 2024, a new charge of disorderly conduct was filed.
You see, once the prosecutor gets involved, we can add even more stuff to force you to plead to something you're going to plead to, because we got you now.
Court documents indicate that Ms. Allen Gregory was originally charged with obstructing for her refusal to show identification to Deputy Gregory. The charge was later amended to say that Allen Gregory was, quote, intentionally acting out and verbally interrupting the New Haven town supervisor numerous times during a town meeting, which is considered a governmental function. In August of 2024, the charges against Ms. Allen Gregory and Ms. Bale were dismissed based on speedy trial violations. When asked about the dismissal by a local news outlet, Mr. Barney stated in a text message that, quote, I handled the situation exactly as I should have. The fact that the district attorney's office failed to bring the cases to trial in a timely manner has absolutely nothing to do with how the town of New Haven handled the situation at our meeting.
And it will be continued to be enforced that you shall raise your hand and submit to the greater authority, or we will call the police on you, open meeting or not.
Ms. Hoffman and Ms. Bale's attorney indicated that both women are pursuing civil legal action in response to their arrests and prosecutions. New York's Stop and Identify statute does not require citizens to provide physical identification to officers who stop them. Deputy Gregory's conduct in this encounter, along with her articulated understanding of when she has the authority to compel ID, suggests that she routinely demands driver's licenses and other identification cards under threat of arrest from...
This is just the way they do it. So what do we do with that, right? So we got a leadership problem because that's just okay. So I think everybody gets grounded as a cop until you can show that you know the constitutional rights of the people that you serve. Just my idea. Some sort of something like training with, so what you didn't do right, let's do an after action and review. How could we have done this better? Well, there you have it. You know, like I said, there's just so many ways to do that better, and that's really my huge criticism here. If police departments change the way they amp it up and instead find a way to bring the temperature down, then I think we'll all be much better off. And again, police can be seen as those good people that we always were taught as kids that we want them to be. Until the next time, from the bunker, this is Wolf 6, out here.